we are back with EV Nova. We have just finished up the pirate campaign, and so now let's get a jump on a brand new storyline. Whatever that will be remains to be seen. Although if you're watching this on the YouTube VOD, more than likely you can just look at the title card and know what this is going to end up being, but I do not have the luxury of predicting the future. Otherwise, I think I'd be on Wall Street instead of here. But anyway, so we need a name for our new pilot. I think I'm going to go with... Maxwell Klinger. And nickname Section 8. And the cultured and distinguished among you would know this reference to the iconic show MASH, and so we're just going to name our ship MASH. Because why not? Because I'm running this show, and we're not going to keep the original shuttle for that long anyway. So without further ado, let's get going. So once again, mankind has colonized the stars. The early explorers launched themselves and their followers into the void with little or no idea of what the future would hold. Many were never heard from again until a genius named Amada Crane came to the fore. Crane designed and orchestrated the construction of the hypergate system. The hypergates are a means of linking systems light years apart with wormhole technology. A great boom of colonization began, and the dark reaches of space were suddenly not so dark nor so distant. The ruling body of humanity, the Colonial Council, grew rich from the colonies. The life's blood of the Council was the hypergate system. I really like the kind of like blueprints they have in the background too. It's a really nice touch. But the Council grew corrupt, and the sickness of the corruption spread through every layer of society. Pirate attacks became more prevalent, criminals flourished, and politicians became military governors. The emasculated council could do nothing. Terrorists destroyed the sole hypergate and crippled the network. Overnight, entire systems were cut off from civilization, and society was thrown into a state of anarchy. Few could have foreseen events that followed. Warlords arose, empires sprung up and collapsed just as quickly, and all the while people of the galaxy suffered in a new dark age. Planets sank into fuel states, and more technology was lost, seemingly forever. Kind of reads like Warhammer 40k, honestly. Yet from this chaos arose order. A new reformed council advanced faster-than-light technology, and slowly regained contact with the lost worlds of humanity. Over time, the core systems of human space formed a new ruling body, the Federation. Life is now a cheap commodity in a dangerous universe. To the south lies the Auroran Empire, a savage race. The mysterious Polaris hold the east, while the north and west are unexplored. You have just purchased your first ship, a shuttle that you hope will lead to better things. You're ready to start your maiden voyage. The universe, with all its diverse beauty and terror, awaits you, Captain. Get going. And it seems as usual, I think we're in the gem system. No, we're in Formalhaut. Close enough. And I think, as usual, we're probably going to skip the tutorial, just because it doesn't really do much. Kind of just wastes time. So we're going to go ahead and tell him no. I guess some things are just best learned firsthand, or if you've done this a million times. He grins knowingly before reaching out and shaking your hand again. Well, regardless, my boy, I wish you the best in your travels. Somehow I get the feeling you will do something that will shake the universe. With a wink, he heads off to find another ship. If you want to see the tutorial, I recommend going and checking out the pirate storyline, where we did actually do the intro tutorial. But, do it once, why do it again? Say something once, why say it again? I think this... Oh, wait, no, the fire system is not the one I was thinking of. I was going to say that'd be a pretty short run. I think even though it's only 5,000 credits, going to Georgia is the way to go. Definitely don't go to Altia ever as a shuttle. That's just asking for trouble. Because that is, as some of you know, who have either played the game or watched my channel before, that part of space is kind of pirate territory. Kind of this entire area here and up here, and just when you're the literal worst ship in the game, don't touch it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Alright, so easy peasy. Oh, I wish I could abort my jump because there's a derelict ship, which would have been a cool 75,000 credits. But live and learn. Just means you shouldn't jump the gun. Don't do as I do. So the passengers disembark. We get our 5K. And there's not really a whole lot of things that are catching my eye here. Let's go to the bar. Okay, this one's good. You are sitting quietly enjoying a cold drink when the man beside you turns and starts up a conversation. The space jock lifestyle is a fairly lonely one, with months between seeing old friends. You are more than happy to chat away a while with him. It turns out he is an Auroran living in Federation space. When he told you, you look at him somewhat skeptically, but once he explained that he was watched by the government very carefully and had to log all his travels and movements, you can see this might be possible. Chango has been living in Fed space since his house cast him out. Your limited knowledge of Auroran lifestyle gives you enough of an idea not to question him further. These things are always a matter of honor and best left alone. During the course of the night, it becomes apparent that Chango is something of an entrepreneur. He has organized for a number of Federation citizens to go to Hourglass and hunt the dreaded Chango. Oh, yes, the Kunyo. He has a number of expatriate Auroran warriors to act as guides and enough weapons to destroy a small Federation battle group. He has run a number of successful hunts, but has run into a snag. His regular pilot was killed when a Kunjo ripped him to pieces. So now he has a party ready to leave, but no one to get them there. Suddenly a light comes to his eyes, and you can all but see a light bulb appear next to him. Say, he asks, what are you doing tomorrow? Do you feel up to ferrying us to Hourglass and dropping us back on Earth? It won't be too dangerous. The Kunjos aren't mating at the moment. You look at him in a mixture of disbelief. You've never seen a Kunyo, but you really don't want to. Chango sees your expression, smiles, and leans closer. There's big money in this. If you do it for me, I'll always be in your debt, and I'll pay you 75,000 credits. You won't have to go to the service for very long, and you won't even have to leave your ship. Even in mating season, Kunyo can't tear through metal. What do you say? So, of course we're going to do this because this is one of the early, fairly easy missions just to get you some credits. You stick out your hand and Chango grasps it. I really should be getting everything organized, he smiles warmly. I'll meet you at your ship tomorrow. I'll have my team with me and 4 clients, 3 of which are public servants who are out for a thrill, and 1 is a much more serious hunter. We'll probably stay on Hourglass for a few days, depending on how the hunt goes. And then we'll return to Earth when we're finished. Alright, sounds good. So, like I was saying, very easy mission. It's a milk run. Let's avoid that free trader pirate cruiser. And, hopefully, yes. Alright. You match velocities with the derelict ship and dock with it. Passing through the airlock, you are surprised to encounter the surviving crew of the vessel, who are overjoyed at their rescue. Thank you, Captain, says their captain. Regrettably, the ship is damaged beyond repair. If you'd be so good as to transport us to New England, however, I have enough savings to reward you for the rescue. Could you give us a lift? We are, of course, going to do that, because that is another 75,000 credits in the bank. So, really, for just going here, here, and back, we're going to get 150,000 credits, which, fingers crossed, will be enough to catapult us out of this light shuttle. And I tend to like skipping the heavy shuttle upgrade, even though it's a fairly easy and cheap upgrade to do. But let's see where things go. I don't think I'll get it. I think I'll probably go my usual route and try to get something zippy. Can I pick up a delivery to where we're going anyway? Nope. Oh well. If I had more of the trade routes of this parts of space memorized, I could also like get a trade drop-off in that system, but hey, we're not really going for optimization. So, in the past I've done fairly lengthy episodes. The Pirate Campaign has a episode which I believe it goes over 2 hours. I'm gonna try to lean away from that. I don't think people really want to watch for that long, or it's hard to maintain interest for something for 1 hour, let alone 2. So I don't blame anyone who is not interested in sitting through that. So I'm gonna probably aim for 30-minute episodes. So I got a little bit greedy here, and I was hoping that this system would be friendly, and it wasn't. So instead of trying to dock there, I figured I'd just pick up some assistance refueling in this system. And it's taking a little bit out of our profits, but nothing that we're really going to care too much about. So let's set down on an Hourglass and see if we can hunt the Kunyo. Alright, Chango has just spent an hour guiding you to a well-used landing site. All around there is a dense forest, and undergrowth is just starting to cover a huge number of deep craters. You set down and the sensors are going wild. As soon as you do, Chango and his team leap out of the hatch, brandishing their weapons with gusto. Behind them come the clients, 3 looking like they should be wearing brown underpants, and the 4th eyeing the undergrowth intensely. You cycle a hatch closed and watch. A Kunyo suddenly breaks from the undergrowth, flying through the air to attack one of Chango's men. At least it would have, if a rocket hadn't plowed into its chest before detonating the beast into a rapidly expanding pink vapor cloud. The public servants leap to the ground, pointing their weapons in every direction at once. Chango lays about with a continuous laser. In the space of a few minutes, the clearing you landed in is 3 times its size. His men set up the mines and sentry lasers, and the camp takes place. You stay on Hourglass for 4 days. The public servants never fired their weapons, but still had some very manly hollow shots taken with the killed Kunyo. The 4th client made some kills on his own, but they looked on in disbelief when Chango and the guides explained that in the Auroran Empire, warriors hunt Kunyo with hand-to-hand weapons. All too soon, you've packed up and you're headed home. Alright, so nothing fancy happened that time. There are some chance-based events that can occur when you are Kunyo hunting, but not this time, and that is fine by me. We can just take our payday and, that'll be good. Not enough space to do that one, too. What a shame. We can at least do a delivery to New England and just land again to avoid that pirate. It's pretty sad being in a shuttle because even a pirate Viper is a considerable threat. And, that's going to change fairly soon. Alright. Let's see what's going on Earth. I'm going to avoid going to the bar on Earth if at all possible, just because I don't want to get suckered into the Wild Geese storyline. While Chango smiles, here's your pay. He hands you a chip, and you both watch the men unload the equipment. The clients are meeting their families and friends, showing them the stage hollow shots and waving their arms around, miming the awesome, quote-unquote, shots that killed the dread beasts. Only the 4th client has any real claim to the events he's describing, and you and Chango laugh quietly to yourselves. Only a few short hours later, all the equipment is unloaded, and Chango bids you goodbye. You don't think you're ever going to go hunting Kunyo again, but at least you can say you've done it. Alright. And a smooth payday. Now, we have to consider what kind of setup we really want to do. We could go with the classic Terrapin and run some trade routes, or we can go for something a little bit more interesting. Probably not a civilian Thunderhead, but something. I just said I wasn't going to the bar on Earth, so luckily nothing happened there. We will go to the outfitter and shipyard at every opportunity, of course, because those will allow us to potentially go into the Sigma shipyards and United Shipping. Is United Shipping in the outfitters originally? I don't think so, actually. I think it's just the Sigma shipyards, and I'm blanking on the one that starts in the outfitter. Oh well, it'll come to me. I was just recently attacked by pirates, and they took most of my money and my energy. Comes a plaintive voice through the comlink. Can you help me out with enough energy so I can get to the next system to deliver my cargo? I'm prepared to pay 2,000 credits. Never mind the fact that we paid 17,000 for a refuel from a fed Viper earlier, but hey, 2,000 will do. The really silly thing is he is asking this when he could just land on Earth. Alright, we're good. So, let it be a lesson. If you're playing this game, always keep an eye on the lower left-hand corner. Sometimes you can get a bit of a windfall. If people need fuel, or if a Terrapin needs escorting to a neighboring system. Alright. What ships do we have here? I don't particularly want a civilian Valkyrie, even a cheap one. Vipers are fun, quote-unquote fun, but they're just so flimsy. I'm not going to upgrade the shuttle we're in. Maybe we'll check out Tichel and get a pirate ship. I know we just finished doing the pirate stuff, but actually never mind. Let's take a nice, easy delivery to Earth. What could go wrong? It's Earth. Everyone loves Earth. I love Earth. I'm from Earth. Wink. Anyway. So let's see what happens now. Ooh, fancy. Hello. A Velos dart, and it's very, very rude. Oh well. So, as a group of dock workers unloads the shipment of industrial goods from your cargo bay, you are a little surprised to see the traditional long hair and utilitarian jumpsuit of a Velos coming towards you. The unnamed Velos looks at you oddly for a moment before smiling softly and walking away. So, the delivery to Earth mission, it is a major plot hook. So never take it unless you are ready to get into a major plot. And you know what? I'm feeling it. This is the one we'll do. We are going to do the Velos storyline. So that's the first step, is you have this kind of suspicious meeting after making a delivery to Earth, and you go about your business. Maybe everything's fine. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? But in the meantime, let's go to Viking and see what we can get in the shipyard. I kind of just want something that's survivable. I'm very tempted to get the Pirate Viper. We did this, I think, in the Pirate campaign as well, but it's just such a solid early game ship. Just because it's zippy. You can outrun most danger you find yourself in. But you know what? I think we're going to hold out. I think we're going to stick to our guns and stay with our shuttle for the time being. Oh, look at derelict. Let's get that sweet, sweet credits. Unless it's pirates. It's pirates! Oh no. Make emergency landing procedures. Alright, no. Pirates avoid. I can talk. Yeah, so if that ever happens and you run into a derelict ship in a system with a landable planet, you really have no reason not to board it, because best case scenario, you get 75,000 credits. Worst case scenario is you land on a planet. So unless you're really hurting for a delivery deadline, you think you should just take it. So nothing's happened so far. As with many things, there's only a chance for whatever it is to happen. So in that case, let's pick up a mission or two, try to make some money, some, as the kids say, Skrilla. Cirrus 2. Popping over to Cirrus 2, and I actually remember which one of these two planets is Cirrus 2, and if I get it wrong anyway, make fun of me in the comments. Ooh. Very nice Class 4 Pirate Valkyrie. If I wasn't a shuttle, and therefore the worst ship in the game. You are sitting enjoying a few moments of peace and quiet when you see a gaggle of what you assume to be scientists heading your way. You can tell this by the nervous looks and constant checking over the shoulders routine. I'm sorry. Are you implying that scientists don't go to bars? Because I have a bad news for you. It's definitely not the case. They definitely do. Are you Maxwell Klinger of the MASH? One of them asks as they get closer. You nod, indicating they should all sit down. Pleased to meet you, the designated spokesperson begins. My name is Jerry O'Donnell, and my colleagues and I are keen to employ you. You wait, wondering if any of these people have ever been outside a lab in their recent memory. We are studying the possibility of further systems beyond the known universe to the galactic south, and are planning to launch a probe down there. However, we are unable to pilot a vessel down to that launch point ourselves. Is it possible for a modest reimbursement that you could take us there? You sit back and enjoying the thought of making them sweat a little. Two things, you say. What's the launch point, and how much to get you there? Well, a very nervous Jerry begins, looking over his shoulder. We need a launch from the Contic system. And second, we would have to pay you 50,000 credits for the trouble of getting us there. What do you say? You've heard all the stories about Contic, and about how no one ever comes back alive from trying to study the place. On the other hand, 5,000 credits is 5,000 credits. Let's do it. I guess we're prepared to take you down there, but I have to stress that it'll be a tough trip, you tell them. Yes, Maxwell Klinger. We have looked over the maps. Like as if the maps would tell you anything about this. We know how long the trip will be and what it will entail. We are prepared to leave whenever you are. All we have to do is load the probe and our launching equipment. Of course, we will also need you to return us back to Earth once the probe is launched. You nod and tell them to meet you at the spaceport in the morning. They smile at you, thank you for your time, and head off. You catch yourself wondering what you've gotten yourself into this time. Alright. So this is another one of the early missions, and unlike the Kunyo hunt, this one is fairly unforgiving for those not in the know, because this is where the Contic system is, and you actually have to kind of go around to get to it, so it can be kind of a trek in a shuttle. However, if you have watched the Pirate campaign, and again, I encourage you, if you have the time and inclination, to go back and watch the Pirate playlist, you can just use the Hypergate system to get you to the Kippa system, which is fairly close to the Contic system where we need to be. However, I'm going to make I'm going to be proactive and get a solar panel, just in case things get dicey, and we end up trapped. I'm also going to visit the bar, because that might happen. You are Maxwell Klinger, captain of the MASH. She asks quietly. I just skipped the first line, didn't I? As you step out of the hatch, you are greeted by a woman wearing a blue-black uniform. You are Maxwell Klinger, captain of the MASH, she asks quietly as you nod, curious. I am Samantha Verana, and I am a representative of the Courier Company United Shipping. We specialize in moving around small, valuable cargoes like jewelry, business paper, and contracts. We have recently been on the lookout for new pilots who would be willing to work for us. Are you interested? We're going to go ahead and say yes, because United Shipping storyline can be somewhat lucrative. Excellent, she exclaims, smiling wildly. Well, as it happens, we need someone to head over to Diva in the Laande? Yeah. 21185 system, pick up 2 tons of personal effects for a client on Cornwall in the South Manchester system. This particular mission has no real deadline, which is slightly unusual, as most of our clients want their merchandise delivered by a set time. Anyway, Samantha grins happily. Another United Shipping representative will meet you at the other end and brief you as to what to do next. I am sure to see you around in the future, Maxwell Klinger. With that, she gets up, shakes your hand, and leaves. All right, so as you may notice, I have a tendency to paraphrase when it comes to the text in this game. If you really want to read it verbatim, I encourage you to pause the video and do so. This should be at such a resolution where that is possible, but you read it so many times, you kind of just, you know what it says, and sometimes the wording can be a little bit stilted if you don't paraphrase. So that's what I tend to do. All right, so because that has no deadline, we're going to first take care of the Contic trip, because, hey, I said we were doing that, so we're going to do it. Oh my, we are in Polaris space. We're leaving. It's sometimes hit or miss whether or not the Polaris will just leave you alone or attack you on sight, so let's not play any games. Apparently it really wants us to be in the galactic north. I say that it sends me to the Auroran Empire, but we're looking out for Kippa. That's Corel, that's like the galactic west. I'm not gonna pronounce that one. Heron. No, it's not close enough for me to consider that to be a viable alternative. Obata, definitely not. Back to Corel. This is the issue with using the random wormholes, is because it's you know, it can be a pain. They control you a bit. Ah, Kippa. The loud klaxon should clue you in that you're in the Kippa system, because it is a pirate system. Look at all these pirates. I should have bought an afterburner. Oh no. Alright. Don't be me. Buy an afterburner if you're doing this. Alright. We seem to have snuck past the pirates by the skin of our teeth and made it to the Naiha Memorial Station. Named after the former Obsidian Heart, Arbiter of Reckoning of the Tickle House. We'll get into all that stuff when we actually do the Auroran campaign. They really like their long and flowery titles, because it's basically Space Japan. Just some Aurorans. Here we have this delightful, I believe, prison planet. Oh, yep. So wonderful. Auroran space is just, it's so hospitable. It's beautiful this time of year, really. I should have bought a battery pack now that I'm thinking about it, because you always will take 4 jumps to get to Kant, and you can't refuel there, so we do have to wait for our battery, which is the gray bar in the right-hand corner, to recharge before we can get back to that lovely prison world. Okay. You check for other ships as soon as you entered the system, finding nothing active. The only thing your sweep revealed was an ancient hulk of an Auroran cruiser drifting in the distance, and because your sensors could not get a good reading on it, you diligently kept well clear of it. We are ready to activate the probe as soon as we unload it and set it up, Maxwell Klinger, Jerry says as soon as you land. You waste no time, opening the aft hatches and getting stuck into the hard work of unloading the heavy probe. As you look on, the scientists run a pre-boost check and throw the switch. An old-style ion drive lights up, and the probe starts heading out into the unknown. It will take a long time to return any useful data, but perhaps in a couple hundred years we will find the first of a new series of jumps to take us into uncharted space. Jerry gazes wistfully at the rapidly diminishing probe. We admire his patience and begin to set a course to take him back to the Sol system and to the Federation. Alrighty. So that is the first of potentially three trips to the planet Kant in the Kantic system. They really like making you go down here. Hey, you know, why not? It is the furthest reaches of the galactic southeast. And now we just get to chill out. We get to relax, kick back and relax as our solar panels do the hard work. I'm a sip of my beverage. Delightful. Now we could ask this Firebird for help. I don't know how the Aurorans feel about us. Hello? Would you give me assistance? Oh, yeah, totally. 3,000 credits? That's better than the feds. Thank you. And now we're going to make the perhaps questionable decision of going back to the Kippa system. With no afterburner. Because I'm silly. Oh well, let's go to the bar. Don't take any of these missions just because they will have you go other places in Auroran space, and we are trying to not do that. We can just go right onto the Kippa system because we do not need to make any jumps afterwards. The wormhole should take us to a habitable system, and we do not have an afterburner, so that extra fuel won't do us any good when pirates decide we look delicious. Like this. Oh, peh. I'm going to be a spoil sport and just reload the character. So we could sit there all day and wait for someone to show up, but let's not do that. Because after all, I don't think that's the most useful thing to do when you're trying to stream. And we're not playing hardcore mode, so I don't feel any compunctions about reloading a save. Just gotta maneuver. Okay, maybe we won't go back to the Kippa system on second thought. So we're gonna take the long way around. Oh, I'm sorry. We're all about positivity here. We're gonna take the scenic route. Yes, the scenic route. Doesn't that sound nicer? I'm going to enjoy our trip through Auroran space and just rely on my ability to remember from, you know, my endless experience playing this game, how to get back without going down one of the dead ends. We'll be fine. Actually, I wonder if I can buy a map. Nope. Not here, at least. This ain't the place, Chief. But that's okay. And then I think once we touch down back at Seoul, we're going to call that episode 1. But don't worry, we'll keep streaming. But just for the sake of giving people more manageable VODs, we'll just cut the first VOD there. If you play Evinova, or perhaps are interested in doing so, leave a comment, or come and watch me live, and we can chit-chat about it. It really is a great game, and I believe it will still run on Windows 10. So, there's no excuse. Alternatively, there's also Endless Sky, which is a spiritual successor to Evinova, which is available for free on Steam. I've tried it. It's not quite the same. It doesn't have the same je ne sais quoi. But someone is currently making a total conversion mod for Endless Sky to make it into Evinova. And if you're interested in that, I recommend going and checking out the Evinova subreddit where he does regular updates on his 3D modeling of the ships. It's actually pretty cool. But that's probably a ways off. Playing Evinova itself is, I don't think there's any real need to do a total conversion of Endless Sky for it. I like the old UI personally. But I can understand how, to some people, this is probably pretty dated. I know I have to play it in a window myself, so it does make reading that tiny text kind of hard sometimes. Alright, thank you for taking us on our journey, Maxwell Klinger. Jerry smiles. In the time he has been on your ship, you have gotten quite fond of the man and his quiet manner. He hands you a credit chip and tells you that future generations of spacefarers will probably take routes to the new systems simply because of the research you have helped with your service. You wonder about what the probes will find out there, single quotations. Perhaps the universe that you are beginning to know so well will only turn out to be a corner of what's really in existence. Perhaps the probe will be the first human contact with an alien race. Only time will tell. There we go. And hey, what wonderful timing. What great thing to end the episode on. Because we are going to continue with that first link in the Velos chain. As you wander around the spaceport after landing, you are slightly surprised to see the same Velos who walked past you as you were unloading a delivery you made to Earth not so long ago. Greetings, Maxwell Klinger. He begins in an almost lyrical accent. We have been keeping an eye on you, and it has now reached the point where I have been given no choice but to approach you. Are you prepared to help us out? Something in his voice, and the way the whole area seems to stand still, tells you that this is no simple request. You have a deep feeling of foreboding about the choice in front of you, and you hesitate for several moments before making a decision. Do you agree to help him? Well, we are a friendly sort, and we're all about positivity. We're going to go with yes. Of course we're going to help. Of course. Thank you, he responds sincerely, after you give a nod of acquiescence. You see, it has been nearly 7 centuries since anyone has set foot on our homeworld, and I was wondering if you could find it for me. We Velos can remember the exact location, but not the route to or from it. It would mean a great deal to all of us if you could bring us news about its final fate. He tells you quietly. I cannot join you as I have business here, but I'll be waiting for your return with great anticipation. With that, he turns and walks away, leaving you wondering at the odd encounter. I mean, it would have been helpful if he had perhaps given you the name of the homeworld, just like our homeworld. Okay, sure, fine. Also, it's interesting that the mission mentions contact with an alien race, because I'm pretty sure. Well, I guess the Velos are not technically aliens, but they're honestly close enough to aliens to the average spacefarer. But luckily enough, we've actually, I believe, been to the homeworld, because I think right here. Oh, I'm sorry, we have not been there. We've been to Corel, which is another ex-Velos system. Spoilers. Nothing major, don't worry. But we're going to have to head out there. But first, let me just take a quick pit stop here on Mars. Mars, not Jupiter. You can use the number keys to select planets in the system. And just thank you for joining me in the first episode of what will apparently be the Velos campaign. I very much look forward to continuing this, and if you enjoyed this kind of content, please like or subscribe and join me sometime on Twitch. And with that, we're going to cut the first episode here.